Well, hello every Digimon fan. This is gonna be a video about Ryo. Yeah, so now if you don't know anything about him, you should probably listen. Because if you do know his story, well, then you don't need to listen. This is a video for the people that doesn't know his backstory. When I posted update on Facebook telling the people that, well, I want a season with Ryo. Because he may have like a lot of interesting stories to tell. A lot of you guys told me that, well, no, you more than less hate this guy, because so how we turn up in Tamers. Now, I'm gonna give you a backstory on Ryo, so maybe you will have another picture of him, maybe not, but hopefully you will, because I really like this character. So alright, here's the story of Ryo. The story starts New Year's Eve 2000. Ryo, at the age of 9 at this point, sat by his father's computer, talking about the event that happened in Odaiba. I don't know how to 100% say that, but yeah, the event that happened, as you know. As they do this, Agumon, yes, Thais Agumon, asks Ryo for his help. And Ryo gets transferred into the digital world and, yeah, receives a Digivice. There he meets Genai, who tells him about the dangerous situation that is currently happening. Machinedramon, the Dark Master, and as you all know, Wargreymon actually destroyed this character, says he needs to merge with Hachimeramon in order to survive. Now, why does this happen? Well, it's because of the E2K bug. As you know, around the millennium, there was this fear about computers crashing and stuff like that, so apparently a computer glitch made a lot of the beaten like Digimon turn back alive again. So the millennium bug that makes the past enemies come back to life, making it possible to do a formation of Millenniummon, that is Machinedramon and Chimeramon combined. Not sure what happens after here, but I think Ryo defeats Millenniummon and time and space kinda like returns back to normal, and therefore also making the adventure Digidestins and Digimon not remember anything of this. The same year, Ryo actually travels to visit his friend Ken, which at this point has also a Digivice. At Ken's house, he receives a mail asking for help once again, but this time from Weemon, and both Ken and Ryo goes back to the digital world, where Ken meets Wormmon. But at this point, Ryo still haven't gotten his partner, so yeah. In this adventure, Ryo gets to borrow a D3 Digivice and eventually takes down Diablomon, which has also returned. And at the same time he also meets Millenniummon, which we thought had died, but yeah, he had survived. The story around this is that Millenniummon tricked Ryo to think that he died, so Ryo would go back to the real world, so Millenniummon can like work in peace. So yeah, Millenniummon then gets angry and splits the digital world into two parts, also ending up separating Ryo and Ken. When we jump through this adventure, because this is a game I'm talking from, so jumping through this adventure, they eventually beat Millenniummon because they managed to like DNA digivolve Veemon and Wormmon into Paildramon. So yeah, Millenniummon is destroyed, but a dark seed shoots out and aims right for Ryo, but Ken sees this and pushes him out of the way, and therefore gets hit by the seed instead. And there you go, the creation of the Digimon Emperor, or at least the start of the Digimon Emperor. So Ryo has this crystal, and he seals Millenniummon inside of it to keep him not escaping. A few days after this, they return back to Ken's room, but Ken at this point is very sick, as we know, because of the dark seed that's growing inside of him. At this point, Ryo receives another mail, a lot of mail standing here, asking him to choose between 4 holy animals, and of course Ryo ends up picking one, and it once again pulls him back to the digital world. Genai introduced Ryo to the D1 tournament, where he has to defeat the contestants in order to receive the animal he chose. Well, it's a potential partner, I guess. He gets the help from Weemon, Agumon, and Wormmon in this event. During this, Ryo gets a message on his D-terminal, which he had just received, where it states that 3 of the 4 animals, holy animals, are corrupted, so he needs to defeat 3 of them. So Ryo in this tournament fights Issei, Matt, and actually Tai. But it turns out that everything around this tournament was fake. It was only a tournament program to make like Ryo stronger and learn him more like fighting tactics. And the contestants he had fought was actually only digital clones. He was actually pulled back to the digital world to fight an enemy called Millenniummon Moon, which is Millenniummon sealed in a crystal, which Ryo himself, like I said, sealed. Now it has turned into a Digimon, so even though he's sealed in the crystal, yeah, it's still Millenniummon. So according to the sacred beasts, Ryo is the only one with power enough to take him down. But it's later revealed that actually Ryo and Millenniummon Moon has the same power and is forever like destined to fight against each other, like light and dark. and quote unquote to Millenniumon, "If you die, you will come with me." So Ryo, of course, beats Millenniumon anyways, which at this point has actually digivolved into Seed Millenniumon. And as he explodes, the explosions like open some kind of portal, and both Ryo and Millenniumon get sucked away from that time and space they are in and disappear into a hole of endless time. We then go back to Ken's room, where Ken asks Genai, "Where is Ryo?" Where Genai answers that he actually doesn't know. He haven't heard from him, and he actually isn't in the digital world at all. So he says to Ken, "Even though you are worried, I am not. Ryo is on another adventure. I don't have any proof of this, but I believe that Ryo is a true Digidestined. As long as the digital world needs help, I'm sure Ryo will always be around to help to save it. Even though if many years pass, I'm sure he will return someday." So yeah, Genai ends the game with that quote, I guess. Back to Ryo. When he wakes up, he finds himself on the ground, not recalling anything from his past. He looks around and spots Monodramon. Monodramon walks towards him. He leads him to a place where ENIAC is. ENIAC is similar to Yggdrasil, seen in Tamers. So Yggdrasil is like the more known from now recent Digimon myths, I guess. But ENIAC is almost the same thing. So ENIAC explains to Ryo what happened, and Ryo has now become a unique character because he has traveled through time and space, and because of him, the current digital world exists. ENIAC now needs Ryo to help stop the potential destruction of all worlds, because since Ryo now is here, there are now many digital worlds. ENIAC needs Ryo to take down Xyz Millenniumon once and for all. Because Xyz Millenniumon will most likely try to go back and destroy ENIAC, and potentially ending all life in the digital worlds. So yeah, as Ryo now needs to take him down once and for all, and at the same time he needs to do this because Millenniumon now has his memories, so he needs to find them back. ENIAC gives Monodramon to him as partner. So this is the first time Ryo actually gains Monodramon as an official partner. Kind of. It's not revealed yet, but it is. At this point, Xyz Millenniumon starts compressing himself and sending himself back to the past, or his data back to the past, to search for the source of ENIAC, ending up in different parallel worlds. Digital worlds, which also makes Ryo travel in between these to destroy the data and at the same time receive his own memories. Throughout the game, Xyz Millenniumon sees that the plan he thought about is about to fail, so he sends out two of his most powerful generals, Lampmon and Sanbomon, to take Ryo down. But yet again, Ryo of course crushed them. Xyz Millenniumon then makes the last move and sends off Black War Greymon, which is also defeated, so it's destined. They are destined to lose, I guess. Now more of Xyz Millenniumon's clones has appeared, which one of the clones is Tai, Davis, and actually Takato, and actually even the Digimon Emperor, which Ryo actually struggled to fight with because he connected the Digimon Emperor with Ken, and since they have this special friendship, well, yeah, it was kind of hard to take him down. So he met these guys throughout his travels. But at the end, he found out that they were clones, so it didn't matter. At some point, I have not played through that game, but at some point, ENIAC gets shut down, and just before he disappears, he tells Ryo about a software called Atanasoft, which also the clones are after to destroy. This is the computer that gives all life to the digital world. It's also the software that prevents Xyz Millenniumon to actually fully travel back to the past, so the clones are more or less sent to destroy it instead of him. Jumping ahead in the game, Ryo once again defeats all of the clones, and eventually Ryo meets up with Millenniumon once again. And now he really needs to defeat him once and for all. So sending Monodramon into battle, Millenniumon laughs and says that he had waited for his lover to return, hinting to the eternal link they have to each other. After seeing Monodramon, he also tells him that Machinedramon was actually his true partner. But Ryo looking at Monodramon, he finally realized that Monodramon is his real part. So as he realized this, Millenniumon and Monodramon actually fused together, ending up as a digital egg. So kind of fusing the calm spirit of Monodramon and the restless evil spirit of Millenniumon. From here you know the story, because this is where Ryo actually enters the Tamer's world. And now you know why Ryo needs to keep Cyberdramon in place when battles. Because he, after all, is 50% Millenniumon. So there you go. So for those of you that didn't know this backstory, I feel that Ryo actually has a lot of depth, and he could actually, work as a main character in his own season. But that is my opinion. People have different opinions. So yes. But this has been an information video about Ryo. So yes, talk to you later, Digimon fans.